Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am BorderWise, and welcome back to From the Depths, the stable branch! It's been such a long time since we've been in here, and while we're in the stable... I already butchered that. As to why we're in the stable branch, I'm going to cover that in just a hot second. So I woke up today and thought, yay, we're at 10,000 subscribers, woohoo, thank you all so much. And I should make a video on that. I should make a thing, and then I said to myself, but before I do that, I'll check to see what's news in From the Depths. And so I booted up From the Depths, and it downloaded something. So I thought, yes, that's an update right there. And so yeah, there's a new little small update for BetaTest, and I thought, okay, that's a thing I should cover at some point. And then I actually checked the news, and the reason we're stable is because a whole bunch of the stuff that was in beta test is now unstable. Among other things, the new particle cannons that this little pack canoe is equipped with. And before, in case you're wondering, those of you who've seen the previous video, which had this guy in it, camo is not part of the new stable, unfortunately, but it will be eventually, probably, hopefully, because it's too awesome not to be. So yeah, so we're gonna go over and this is a disclaimer right now, this is not gonna be exhaustive, it's just too much. This update is too big, I cannot go over every single detail of every single change. I'll just try and do my best to give you kind of the Cliff Notes version. But before that, I'm just gonna read out, I actually have the patch notes on my other monitor right here while this pack canoe is doing its pack canoe thing. So the little 2.9.2 beta test is just changes and adds a few little things. First one is for the AI. They've added a number of inputs to the projectile avoidance routine, particularly bearing, closing velocity, and closest approach, and deviation from intercept course. I still don't know how projectile avoidance works. I've had any number of very clever people try and explain it to me, and they've done a good job, but I'm just thick, so that's the thing. Alright, and advanced cannons, APS, belt feeder loading cycle tooltip accounts for intakes being almost ready when the cycle starts, so displayed cycle time is shorter, that's basically what that means. I think this pack canoe is going to lose against these three marauders right here. Belt feeder minimum reload delay down to 1 second. Belt feeders need at least a ×2 shell reload time delay after last shot before switching from loading to firing cycle again. So basically it takes a little bit more time for them to start reloading. Bore evacuator cost up from 30 to 40. Muzzle brake and bore evacuator armor up from 40 to 50. Muzzle brake cost up from 20 to 40. From 2040, to 4080 for the 1 and 2 meter variants. Muzzle brakes increase in accuracy by 5% instead of reducing shell speed by 5%. So that's all APS stuff, making APS better again. Detection. Missile projectile warnings are now shared among mainframes. This is very important. And, ouch. This mainly affects CWIS and projectile avoidance routines. LAMs, interceptors, ACBs already checked all mainframes. Mainframe parameters are removed from Lua functions dealing with missile warnings. The old invocations? I guess it was magic. Will continue to work, but will access the global pool. So basically, a little bit smarter detection of munitions incoming. Speaking of... oh, it missed. Workshop. Updated the planet and mod workshop interfaces for easier uploading and downloading of planets and mods. And then there is a bunch of fixes which I won't go into right now. So that's the beta test. We're not in the beta test as of right now. We are in... scrolling up. Oh god, this update's huge. It's so big. Well, I appear to be rolling over. In other words, I think... whoa, yes. That is an issue. The good news is the broad... never mind, they hit me. No! You can't lose! You can't lose, you're too young to lose. And this is why you don't stick alloy in funny places. Oh boy. Oh, dearie me. I got distracted. I apologize. Okay. Oh no! This is bad. This is so bad. Alright, so a 2.9.3 stable release. This is enormous. So, to start off with the big one. And by the way, pretty much every single change that I'm about to read out now and cover in brief has been covered in far more detail in previous update videos. So, yeah, like, go back, watch those. Like, I'm sorry to shill videos that I've uploaded previously, but it's covered in much more detail there. And there will be a link to the patch notes just in the video description for very good reasons. Ooh boy, the Marauders are actually winning. That's no good at all. Alright, so the first big one is... Let's turn the UI back on. You'll notice that there is no fuel or, like, ammo. Individual counter for this canoe we're currently sitting on. And the canoe just got absolutely wrecked. It is time for reinforcements. It is time for this thing, which has been made as part of an ongoing project of mine to make a variety of particle cannon stuff in order to make a particle cannon. Oh god, I'm gonna be sick. So anyway, yeah, that's a thing that uses melee particle cannons. Anyway, so the material change. So fuel and ammo are no longer separate derived resources from materials. It's all just materials all the time now. And I can't actually tell if that thing is damaging anything, is it? It is. That's nice. But yeah, so that's the big one, and this was a very controversial change. I'm not going to read out... Nick, the lead developer, wrote an entire essay as to why they did this. And basically, don't panic. I have playtested in the beta test this new resource overhaul, and it's a good move because it's made the game simpler. It's made the game more accessible. It's made fuel and ammo storage more compact, so you don't need to dedicate as much space to fuel and ammo storage. There's more building freedom as a result of that. Generally, it's a good move. Please do not panic. So yeah, that's basically the thing. No more fuel and ammo. It's the way it works, just so you know, is that you still need fuel and ammo blocks, but that determines how much material per minute can be used by weapons that need ammo, and by fuel engines, and custom jet engines, and anything else that needs fuel. So, I'll give you an example of that, actually. Here, I'm saying that I wasn't going to go into detail, and what do? I go into detail. So, over here, we've got this, these miniature custom jets, and we have a fuel thingy somewhere. Where do we have it? Oh, here it is. It's over here in the back. So here we go. So this is the new thing. So we require 48 fuel materials per minute for fuel engines, custom jet engines. We have enough fuel boxes as that 200 materials are extractable as fuel per minute. So that's quite handy dandy. I can't tell if we're winning yet. That poor particle cannon canoe. Anyway, so that's basically it. It doesn't actually change the game in many ways, except it just makes things simpler. So that's the first major change. And yeah, there is also the in the campaign you can deactivate resource zones in order to facilitate the whole darn it, what's the word for it? You can basically global resource zones are a thing, and oh yeah, they've put in the new... Have they put on the new map? They have! This is the new big neater map. So you can activate, deactivate resource zones in order to funnel more resources into different ones. Custom jet engines have some new additional parts and new features. So they have like duct air intakes, which have different attachment points, and they mean that you can essentially have tubes. And let's actually show you right here. Let's show you what I'm talking about. So, go here, go to air, small custom jet parts. Is these ducted intakes right here, which I haven't figured out yet how these things work exactly. Yeah, so basically it enables you to basically hide a custom jet inside your craft. And have the exhaust intake and exhaust kind of piped out around in funny angles. So that's quite handy. Yep, that's the small one. Let's go find the big one. Big one. Here we go. It's got ducts. And it goes like that, and you can have it poke out like that, so you can hide the custom jet inside your hull. Very convenient. And particle cannons, and for this, we're gonna have to go sit on the pack canoe again, so let's go here. Let's repair you a little bit. So you're back in fighting form, lad. There we go. And so, there's a whole bunch of new particle cannons. New particle cannon bits. So the old one is now the sniper lens, or the long-range lens, rather. The one we're using on this pack canoe is the vertical lens, which is just basically average damage and long-range performance. This is my favorite one at the moment, simply because it's the middle of the road. Scatter lens, which is kind of like the shotgun. Similar to this, rather than a greater firing angle, it just has more beams. And you got the short-range lens, which is kind of the replacement for the old alternative firing aperture for particle cannons. And you've got the melee pack lens, which I think was added before, and all the new stuff. There's other changes, like particle cannon parts are susceptible to EMP, but are otherwise far more durable. It's just a whole bunch of different stuff. And, oh yeah, there's these new... lenses here, there, and everywhere. So we've got the old one, which is the old, horribly asymmetric one. But we also have an asymmetrical version, and we also have the rear input one, which is my absolute knobbing favorite, because it means you don't have to... It basically means the front profile of the thing is just 3x3, rather than 5x5, having to do the other stuff. And having pipes come in from the top and from the sides and all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We also have some new APS blocks, which is super duper handy. Yeah, so, oh yeah, by the way, lots of the prefabs have all got little preview thingies. Preview pictures, rather, so you can see exactly what it looks like. So yeah, we've got all these new stuff. So we've got the old one, we've got that little T shape, but we've also got a 5-way piece, and a 4-way, and we got just a corner. So basically it means that APS Tetris is a lot simpler and easier, and some people are gonna whine about that, and I highly suggest you ignore those people, because they basically think that games that are like that simplicity is bad for some reason. Personally, I think this game is complicated enough, and having more building freedom is, in this case, a good thing. But in any case, so there's also some new wide wheels. So we're gonna go over here to land. So we got the 3-meter wheel, like this, and that is now spinning. But we also have the fat wheel, which is great for me because when it comes to land vehicles, I really like armored cars. So, yeah, actually, what is this even set to? It's set to yaw. Oh, that's funny. Okay, but yeah, so we got big fat wheels now, and that's great. Look at this big fat wheel. I love it. I love it. So yeah, that is a handy-dandy new feature. Okay, and steam engines are, yeah, so there's a long list of things to do with steam engines, but basically they're still working it out, making them actually have a niche of their own. Whoa, we finally killed a Marauder. See, superior combat vessel. This is not the best example of a melee pack craft, by the way. Okay, so... New Steam, and I guess we better have a steam boiler somewhere around here. There's all kinds of... Alright, so probably best not to talk about Steam at the moment, because as it says here on screen, we are not 100% happy with the changes to Steam in version 2.9.3 and are overhauling it again. Thank you for your patience. But yeah, so one major thing is that... Okay, so we're not going to talk about Steam yet, but Steam is still being worked on. So we'll move right on to detection. So let's go find a detection component right here. We'll find one. You will notice that there's no auto... like said, this automatic set to this kind of thing. Why is this like this? I wonder why. We should be something different. Anyway, so there's no auto set detection because that was pretty useless. It automatically sets the weight of whatever it is, what you want each detector to do, and yeah. So there's basically a rebalancing of detection. So, right, okay, alright. So each sensor basically has a role, and large vehicles you basically need, like... Oh my goodness, this is so much to read. I didn't actually have time to read through this before. Basically... Alright, so... It's the things like... Ah, goodness me, I really should have read this before. I was rushing! I was Russian! I did it for Mother Russia. Okay, so basically you can't just rely on cameras anymore, you've got to use other things as well. Because, yeah, boys are more powerful, ECM can now intermittently jam them. Smoke and chaff. Basically, yeah. Detection is being overhauled as well. I'm sorry that's not very informative, but like there's so much stuff. There's way too much stuff to cover. I have no idea how long I've been talking even. Basically, detection is better and simpler and use like multiple varieties of sensors. Like you gotta use like all your stuff. You gotta use your IR cameras, you gotta use your radars and your sonars and stuff. You can't just stick a camera on your craft and call it a day. That's the main thing to take away from it. So, also wondering if they managed to stick this. Not quite yet. Oh, no they did. Alright, so this is a handy thing. This is a good example. So, there's a new target clusters of blocks setting in the endpoint selection config. Also, there's a try to target blocks above and below water now. Attempts to choose concentration blocks rarely but not ever choosing isolated blocks requires recent visual or active radar sonar signatures of the target, or else it'll fall back to random block targeting. And target hot blocks requires, well, it's exactly what it sounds, it targets the hot stuff, and it requires recent infrared detection of the target, or else it will fall back to random block targeting. So, if you want to, say, make a good AA gun that shoots at hot things and shoots at jets, you need IR sensors. How is this guy doing? Are you out of juice yet? Not really. Wow, this poor marauder. This poor marauder is doing stuff. Well, getting minced, actually. Damn. Yeah, that's basically it. These are, like, again, like, I really do recommend you go... Like, I know... A lot of people told me they like these update videos because they hate reading through the patch notes. I recommend you do that, at least give them a cursory glance over, because there's a lot of stuff. There's really a lot of information, and before you take to the comment section saying how the devs have ruined the game again, you should probably make sure you're well informed about that. You should read the patch notes, you should watch the other videos I've talked about these changes in DevTest. Not DevTest, BetaTest. And yeah, make sure you're well informed before you start criticizing. Okay? And also get in there and play it. Because, yeah, so that's basically in a brief nutshell, a delicious, brief, crunchy nutshell, the 2.93 stable release, it's like a whole bunch of beta test stuff finally moved to stable, and then there's that mini 2.9.2 beta test release that's just fixing some stuff for the AI and detection and APS and all that stuff. So, how am I doing? Okay, I'm doing alright, actually. That's great. Oh, yeah, and, yeah, 10,000 subscriber milestone video, which I had a plan for and everything, should go up next. So, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon if you like, it really helps. Thank you to all my current Patreon supporters, and I will see you next time in From the Depths. Sorry if this whole video sounds a bit rushed. This was very last second for me, and I wasn't expecting it. I hope it's helpful anyway. So, farewell!